Alrighty, the day has finally come where Gun, Illfonic, this collaboration, Illfonic, Gun, Further Front, and Compass, they're all working on a new horror game. And this is a very familiar face. One of the things I love about this website, though, before I get to all the negative stuff, but one of the things I love about this website is that where your cursor moves, Michael Myers moves his head a little bit. That's kind of cool, right, for a website? But the reason why I'm saying this is going to be a negative overview of the announcement of this game is because, well, I was a Texas Chainsaw fan, and you kind of know where I'm getting at when I'm going to talk about this game. Gun Media, they recently came off of publishing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game, right? And they were the most vocal people when they started talking about that game. Wes Kidner, I know all of those motherfuckers at the forefront, right? With talking about that game and promising that there was going to be years of content to come, and having a dedicated and prolific fan base built up from this asymmetrical horror game where Bubba is roaming around killing all the other members of the, the victims and everything, and then you have your family members that you could play with, and it was a fun, wild adventure. I thoroughly enjoyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought it was a fun little game, playing with my friends and whatnot, and being competitive against other people. It was one of the asymmetrical horror games for me that is few and far between that really worked out well after the whole Dead by Daylight craze, the Dead by Daylight stranglehold, the Dead by Daylight boom. I'm gonna preface this video before I start getting negative and say three things. Number one, if you are excited for the Halloween game and you love Michael Myers and you're someone who really does not care about any of the Texas Chainsaw drama, or you never really picked that game up, or you basically are saying, hey, I think this is a cool idea still, I'm gonna pick it up and buy it myself, play it myself, and formulate my own opinion, that's okay. That is fine. You do not need to think the same way that I do, and I do not need to think the same way that you do. That's number one. Number two is that there were people in my comments where I made a little jab at Illfonic and Gun. Ooh, that's loud. Okay, and I said something like, I can't wait for Gun to shut this down in 2027 so we can get that inevitable Child's Play game, and that'll be shut down in a year as well. Amazing, isn't it? I made a quote from Chucky Child's Play 2 where he stabs the teacher and he says, amazing, isn't it? And this thread went off, actually. I almost have like 300 likes, but there is a lot of people kind of defending this a little bit, saying that, oh, this is Illfonic behind the game, it's not Gun. Okay, here's the thing about this, right? And I'm sure you noticed by now in this video, I am not buying this game whatsoever. Illfonic and Gun, I'm not giving Gun Media a dime because they killed Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And if you don't know, that was the last multiplayer game that they worked on, that they published. Wes Kidner was at the forefront of talking about how there's years to come for a roadmap. There were executions and hair packs and skins that were discovered later, and they didn't deliver on their promise of a fully fleshed out and realized game, and they didn't adhere to all of the problems that people still had with that game, whether it came to the bugs, the balancing, the glitches and whatnot. They simply just moved on, and there's a big sort of I want to say inner workings of Gun, so to speak, where they got bought out by a company called Black Tower, and people believe that this is the downfall of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because if Black Tower says jump, Gun has to say how high. They can't do anything about it. So if they have to move on, they simply have to move on. But I would say that Gun is still at fault, even with the Black Tower buyout or whatever the fuck is going on, because again, there's two things to take note of. You gave a lot of people false promises. You said there was going to be a roadmap that will continue beyond saying that the game is realized and done. Your PR is poor. It is poor communication, and I can see why those folks who said, oh man, I'm just not getting the next gun game, because they said that they were going to support a game for years to come, and now they don't for some reason, right? And I can understand feeling burnt in that department. Now, there will be people that will cut slack for Gun, saying Gun did not make the game, they published it or whatnot. Illfonic is making this game and whatnot, and they're doing stuff with it. It's still a collab at the end of the day. And Gun is still getting money off of this project at the end of the day. Therefore, if a burnt Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan said, I'm not buying another game that Gun is publishing because they let me down so hard with the last game, they're within their moral right to feel that way, right? They are within their moral right to feel that way. As for Illfonic, Illfonic has also not been really great with keeping these horror multiplayers that they make alive. So Predator Hunting Grounds, that died off. Killer Klowns, that died off. If someone were to give critiques to Illfonic and say that the issue is, and I saw one good comment, they said Illfonic, their horror multiplayers don't really have longevity behind it, and they don't really last that long, and they end up being dead on arrival. If you feel that way as someone who bought those games, Killer Klowns or fucking, what is it, goddammit, Predator Hunting Grounds, or any of Illfonic's like ill-fated games, then you have the right to feel that way. Same thing for Gun. If they offered up lavish, outlandish, false promises, and there's still skin packs and executions and balancing that you're waiting for, you have the right to feel disappointed when they come out one day and they say that the game that we made is entirely 100% and fully realized, despite seeing pictures and images of these execution packs, despite seeing these notions of hair packs come up and stuff they were going to promise, and apparently there was a map that they did not deliver on and release and put out. If that is the case, then you did not get a fully realized and complete experience, despite them saying we're gonna keep updating this game for a long time. They lied to us, and if you feel lied to, then you have the right to say, yo, hold on, I don't like this. I'm not really gonna support Gun's next game, collab or not, right? There's this guy trying to go at me at the comments, and I thought it was kind of funny. He said, how about you just don't get the game like most people who already have been burnt by Gun and Illfonic several times already. I'm not getting another damn thing by them regardless of what it is. It seems like you understand the wavelength. You know there is a problem with Illfonic and Gun, which you have cited in your comments, yet why is it a bad thing that I'm making fun of Gun on this video when you know they deserve it? As for not buying the game, I have never bought a Gun Media product ever. Friday the 13th was gifted to me by a friend for $2. With Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I got that game for free by registering on a code site, I think it's Terminals, and I told Gun I wanted a review and they gave me a review of the game. I appreciate the opportunity to review their game, and I told them my only stipulation was I'm going to review the game how I want, positive or negative, and I'll tell you guys my honest feedback if you give me this code. No collusion, none of that. This is like known information between me and Gun, and they obliged, and I reviewed the game and I thought the game was pretty good. But just because they gave me a free code, and if they do give me a free code for Halloween, it doesn't mean that I paid for it. It was a code provided by the developers to give a review on the game, and that's it. I will maintain my courteous professionalism if they give me another free code, but if they don't, I'm not going to be bothered because I can decide to have a boycott and have it be real. If I don't need something, I won't get it, or someone else can get it for me, or I can get something used. I'm not like these people who are like, I'm going to feign boycott, and then all of a sudden I change my mind in like the span of 2 seconds. I don't want to monetarily support Gun because I am afraid they're going to shut down another horror multiplayer venture where I get into it, I start having a lot of fun, and then it's gone in a year. I will be positive here because I'm gonna cut slack. I do think this game is gonna sell well. It's gonna go over well with casuals. I will never argue the sales of Halloween and the staying power of Michael Myers and how that's going to transition over to a game. This game could be very well successful, right? There has been a few games successful in the asymmetrical horror space that wasn't just Dead by Daylight. Hell, Texas went over well. I'm not saying that it's not going to sell well or anything like that, and I have nothing against Wes or any of the other developers there at Gun. Quite to the contrary with this video. People are saying, oh god, he's so negative, but damn, how does he not hate Gun? I don't hate Gun. I hate the ideas behind Gun to burn the consumer. I hope they get better. I hope they do. But a lack of faith is really teetering on the edge at this point, and I have no reason to trust Gun financially. Therefore, why should I give Gun money? And I never supported Gun with money. If they give me something free, cool, I'll review it. But if not, if I don't get it free, if I don't get it as a gift, I'm not going to pay for it, and I'm going to keep my word. Okay. So I don't know why there's some people believing that I won't. When you say don't buy the game, that's such a redundant comment because it's easy for me to function and live without Halloween as a game in my hands. It feels like this is a great idea, but it's unfortunate it comes from a publisher which I don't want to monetarily support because they killed off so many projects, or if it comes to Illfonic, they have short-lived multiplayer anyway, and I don't want to get attached and lose the magic immediately and be like, well, I was into that multiplayer, I want to pop it in and play it, oh wait, it's dead. All right, you know, this is how I feel, and I believe there's a lot of other horror enthusiasts that probably feel the same way as me, either coming from Texas or coming from an Illfonic project where they feel disappointed. All right, and this is a great idea. A Halloween game is fucking slamming, right? I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of streamers that will enjoy this game the day he came home. All right, and one other positive I will say, it's gonna be heavily streamed, it's gonna probably sell well, it's probably gonna do well, it's probably gonna thrive on a lot of viewerships and everything. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be watching this game and having fun with it. It's a big IP. I don't even have anything against someone moving on from one IP to the next, but there is particular ways where you need to do it and conduct things, and if there's so much disappointment from the last game, yes, it is going to bleed over into the next projects just a little bit, and anyone saying otherwise is kind of, you're a fool. Like there's no way. When look, and I thought this was, it got to a point where it was kind of unjustified, but Bloober Team, for example, when they released nothing but middling projects back and right, up and down, diagonally all the fucking time, when they were releasing a lot of middling projects, there were people that was thinking, oh, Silent Hill is going to be the same for Silent Hill 2 Remake. Now those people were thoroughly wrong, because I do believe that when you go from game to game, sometimes previous work might not even affect a new sequel or a new entry or something going forward. There's always the possibility they could fix everything and fix their problems. That's another thing too. They could fix everything imaginable with this game. They could fix everything, and that's good for them, but they need to earn my trust back, and they haven't so far. Another cool thing is that this is going to have single player. That means that, well, I'm hoping it's a good single player and not tacked on with a bunch of missions that, oh, you just walk around as Michael and you have to kill a specific target and that's it. I hope it's not that. Evil Dead had terrible single player missions. I'm hoping they do a legitimate story here, and it's something interesting and it's something cool, whether it delves into the Halloween lore, a little bit more of Michael Myers, even just maybe having some flashbacks, going in, killing his sister, everything. I mean, that could be cool if they set that up. It's cool they're doing single player, but I'm not even bought on the entire premise of that, because they could always put a couple of missions in there, maybe 5 or 6 missions, and they're boring and that's it. So I do think there are people, how can I put this? Because I'm trying to be as fair as possible. There are people that are really riding the coattails of this, and they don't know the full details, just like someone who may be negative. You can't say that the single player is going to be super great, because it could be like fucking 5 or 6 shitty missions and that's it. You're done. It's a wrap. It's donezo. We need to see the full details. We need to see cutscenes. We need to see story. We need to see the premise of that, and then we can tailor if it's going to be good or not. But it is a good idea that they are doing some offline stuff with this game, and it's not just multiplayer only, because when the servers die, that's it. When the servers die for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's fucking it. It's done. The entire thing, everything you bought, what you've bought is done. So it's good to see some longevity put into this game. Oh, it's 1v4 asymmetrical. Okay, that's kind of cool. Like, I'm sure the gameplay itself, when that fully comes out, when that drops, and these are some cool screenshots, and Michael's mask looks cool as well. Like, just the design and everything, like, there is positives here, and I just can't in good faith support this. Gun needs to do a lot to earn my trust, Illfonic, all of that. But I will say, this is good for the horror fans. It is. Good for the streamers, good for the YouTubers. If you aren't really delved into this drama, I can see why you would pick this game up, no problem, day one, easy. If you are someone who cared a lot about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and you felt robbed by Gun, I can see why you're avoiding this game entirely. Like, nobody is wrong for how they feel, in my personal opinion, but in my opinion, I can't support it. All right. But if I get a code or something, I'll play it. But I cannot monetarily support anything that Gun publishes, because the burning is just too strong. But we'll see how development of this game goes. I am curious enough to be like, I'm not gonna be like, you know, talking about it further unless I really need to, unless something really stands out, or unless I get a code for free. But monetarily, no. And I don't blame people. I don't shame people for feeling that way, because I mean, think about it. Do you want a and everyone's gonna be playing the multiplayer a lot. Like, let's be honest. Single player, cool, but multiplayer is gonna be where the real longevity of the game is for Halloween. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't carry over bugs and glitches. You can't make false promises. You can't make false roadmaps. None of that stuff can carry over into the multiplayer of this game, because if you want the game to last, like killing the multiplayer off for support, you can't have that. So here's hoping and praying that Illfonic and Gun learns from their mistakes and they actually make a horror multiplayer for this that sticks the landing, as well as a better constructed single player. And Halloween is like, you know, I'm a big horror guy, right? Fucking Halloween, Jason, fucking Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Chucky, all of that stuff. I love classic horror slasher icons, I really do. And to see them represented is awesome because, well, considering rights, a lot of them are still in court, which is why I don't even blame Gun for Friday the 13th going down the tube, because that was more of a thing of Horror Inc. and Werner and all of those people just arguing and bickering heads and whatnot. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the Halloween game. Very interesting premise. I am excited that we're getting some representation of Halloween in the game space. I'm glad that they're actually doing single player. I hope it doesn't suck, and that they're doing multiplayer. I hope that also doesn't suck. But in terms of the bottom dollar, the bottom line, my wallets are closed on Gun Media projects going forward after Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because they massacred the support for that game. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. This is Renegade Operative. This is what I think of the Halloween game. Hopefully the guys that are getting it will enjoy it. You know, I'm not gonna rain on your parade. I'm not gonna yuck your yum. I hope you have fun, but for me personally, this might be the end of the road for me and Gun Media. I will see you guys next time. Later.